Story time on how my sister's friend stole my puppy. So a couple of years ago, my family surprised me with a puppy, and I was so happy. I named her Ellie, and she was the cutest puppy ever. My whole family loved her, and we would just play with her all day. But one day, we ran out of bread. So my whole family, we just got in the car quickly and went to the nearest shop. But when we got back from the shops, we realised that we left the door open and we forgot to lock it before we left. So everyone was panicking, and we were checking to see if anything was missing or out of place. And everything was fine, except for Ellie. Ellie was missing. Part 2 of how my sister's friend stole my puppy. So after this happened, my whole family was just really sad, and we missed Ellie so much. And I was an emotional mess. Even though I normally am, I was even more of an emotional mess. So we put up missing posters for her everywhere, and we would look for her for hours every single day. But about a month after this happened, we kind of came to terms with the fact that we weren't getting Ellie back, and we even decided we were going to get another dog. But my sister had this friend, let's just call her Emily. So Emily was so jealous of the fact that we had a puppy, and she would always tell us how lucky we were that we had one, and how she wished she had one and stuff. We didn't really think much of it. We just thought, it's a puppy, so whatever. And one day, my sister was on FaceTime with Emily, and then part 3 of how my sister's friend stole my puppy. So my sister was just on FaceTime to Emily, and she was still very upset about how Ellie got stolen. So she was crying and stuff, but she didn't say why she was crying. And Emily was trying to comfort her, saying, "Oh, it will be okay, it will be alright, you'll be fine." But then she said, "I'm so sorry that your dog got stolen." And then it hit me. We didn't tell Emily that our dog got stolen. So I quickly told my sister that our mum needed her, even though she didn't. I just wanted to get her off FaceTime. Then when she hung up on Emily, I told her that we didn't even tell Emily that Ellie got stolen. And then, part 4 of how my sister's friend stole my puppy. So after that, me and my sister came up with a plan. And we decided that we were going to ask Emily if we could go to her house to have a sleepover. But while we were at the sleepover, we were just going to look for Ellie. There was one problem though. Emily was really close with my sister, but she wasn't close with me at all. So my sister asked Emily, and at first, she said that only my sister could go. But then my sister literally begged Emily to let me come. And finally, she agreed. So once we actually got to Emily's house, she told us that we needed to go to the shopping centre quickly. And if you're American, you call that the mall. So yeah. So once we got to the shopping centre, Emily started picking up millions of things. Perfumes, everything. And then, part 4 of how my sister's friend stole my dog. So Sarah was just buying loads of stuff, clothes, perfumes, all that stuff. And we went past Pets at Home. And Sarah said that she had to quickly stop at Pets at Home to get some stuff. I asked her why she needed to, because she didn't have any pets, and she said she needed to get some dog food for her uncle. The nerve this girl had. First, to lie about it, and second, to steal my dog. I could not believe her. I wanted to just confront her right there and then, but I knew that if I did, it wouldn't end well. So I just said, "Oh, okay." And I was thinking of my plan of how I was going to get Ellie back. So after that, we went back to her house, and part 6 of the Emily story. So after this, I just had to confront Emily. I was just too angry not to. And I asked her why she stole Ellie back, and I told her that she has to give her back right now. But oh my gosh, Emily denied stealing her. And the worst thing is, my sister didn't even defend me. I was just so angry at the both of them. I ran out of the shopping centre, and I decided I wasn't going to go back to Emily's house. I was just going home. And I blocked Emily on all social medias once I got home. And also, once I got home, I messaged my sister asking her why she wouldn't defend me. And she said it's because she wants to try and get Ellie back from Emily's house. Now I was a bit more happy. I trusted my sister more. And part 6 of how my sister's friend stole my puppy. Before I start the story, I would just like to say I'm so sorry for not posting. I've been really, really busy with school and all that stuff. But I'm back now. So, I was texting my sister non-stop. I was just so worried about her and Ellie, and I didn't know what to do. So I was texting her for about an hour on end, and finally she told me to stop texting her because she was trying to look for Ellie, and her phone was going off every second, and it was getting a bit annoying. So I just listened to her. I stopped messaging her, and I left her alone for a bit. I couldn't really get my mind off of it, so I did some drawing to try and distract myself. And then that's when I finally got a notification from my sister. She said that she had found Ellie and that Emily was hiding her in her attic. And then Part 8. So my sister told me that Ellie was in Emily's basement. And once she told me that she had found Ellie, I just burst into tears. I was so happy to know that Ellie was safe and that we could get her back. So then my sister FaceTimed me to show me Ellie. And when I looked at Ellie, she looked like a whole, completely different dog. She was so skinny, you could literally see her ribs. She was covered in dirt. It looked like she hadn't taken a bath for a year. She was just in a really bad condition, and I just felt so bad for her. I told my mum what happened, and I told her that we need to go to Emily's house right now, and she practically sped all the way to Emily's house. So once we got there, my mum knocked on the door, and Emily's mum came, and my mum told her that we needed to go in right now, and that Emily had taken our puppy. At first, Emily's mum was like, "No, I don't think Emily would do such a thing. She's such a kind girl. She's so loving. Why would she ever do that?" And then my mum was just like, "Just let me in, otherwise I'm literally going to call the police." So this was enough to scare Emily's mum, and she let me in. So once I was in Emily's house, I ran up the stairs, and I went to her attic. And my sister was in the attic, and my sister, she was just in tears. She literally, I've never seen her that upset before. And next to her was Ellie, and Ellie couldn't even greet me properly. She tried to come up to me and bark and stuff, but she was so weak that she couldn't even do that. I just picked up Ellie and I held her in my arms, and I was just telling myself, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be fine. But in reality, I kind of knew that. Part 10. So I kind of knew that Ellie probably wasn't gonna make it, but in my head I was just saying, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna get through this, Ellie's gonna be alright. So me and my sister were just in the attic trying to clean Ellie up. I'm sorry that I said basement in the other part. I meant to say attic. I said it wrong, so I hope that clears up the confusion. But yeah, we were in the attic trying to clean up Ellie, and guess who walks in? Emily. And Emily has the nerve to get angry at us, even though she's the one who literally kidnapped our dog and left her in terrible conditions. Literally, Ellie could have died. And then Emily starts screaming at us to get out of her house and how we can't have Ellie back. And she literally goes ballistic. Before I start the story time, I have a little announcement. I have a new avatar. I quite like it, to be honest. It's not really the style that I'd normally go for, but I think it's cute. What about you guys? What do you think of it? Okay, part 11. So at this point, I'm literally shook because Emily's screaming her lungs out at me. So me and my sister just stare at each other for a good 30 seconds, not knowing what to do. And then my sister finally grabs her phone and runs downstairs. Then I grab Ellie and chase after her because there's no way I'm staying in that room alone with Emily. Who knows what she could have done. So I run downstairs and my sister starts calling the police. Sorry this took so long, my phone broke, but here's part 12. So me, Ellie, my sister and my mum were all downstairs, and my sister's on the phone to the police. But then we see Emily's mum coming downstairs, and me and my sister, we're literally terrified. We are so scared. So what we do is we run out of Emily's house and start running down her street. Then we look back for a second and we see Emily and her mum chasing us. At this point we're screaming because we don't know what to do. And the police are still on the phone. So they tell us to stay calm and that they would be there in a minute. So once they actually eventually come, they arrest Emily's mum. But the next week, Emily was back at school and she hated me. Here's an embarrassing story about me. I have a lot of these because I embarrass myself all the time. But basically, this happened in year 3, and every Tuesday we would have PE. So it was Monday night and I was packing my PE bag. And while I was packing my PE bag, I decided, you know what? I don't want to be all those basic people in my class who wear the blue shorts that we had to wear. I know, major pick me energy. So instead, I decided to pack, oh my gosh, I packed pajama shorts that were pink. They had a cow on it, and they said moo on them. I know, what was I thinking? But at the time, I thought I was so cool doing that, and that everyone was going to think I was the coolest person ever. So I packed them, and then I went to school. And when it was time to change for PE, I was changing, and I put on my moo shorts, and everyone started laughing at me. And even my teacher couldn't help laughing. I remember this one time, it was really hot because it was summer, so I wanted an ice lolly. So I went over to my freezer and I got an ice lolly, and I was just about to eat it, so I put it in my mouth, and then it got stuck to my lip. I started panicking because it hurt so much and it was really cold on my lip. So then my sister saw what happened and she said she can pull it off for me. And when she said that, I was just like, no, absolutely not. Because I was just like so scared it was going to hurt a lot and like just, yeah. But I really just could not get it off at all. And I just like eventually gave in and I just told my sister she could pull it off. So she started pulling it off and I was literally crying because it hurt so much. And then she said, you know what, I'm just going to pull it off. And that's exactly what she did. She just like pulled it really, really hard and it just ripped off my lip. But it took a chunk of my lip with it. So now I have like a scar on my lip and like a bit of my lip missing. And it's been like that ever since that happened, I guess.